My name is Man Sakdalan. You guys have probably seen my name on emails, heard me answer the phone, or heard me from previous trainings. I am part of the client support team. Josh is my director. I have another colleague named Sam. I also do all of the trainings here in North America. I also handle support. So if you guys are a client or probably a partner agency, if you guys email the support email, then that's me, Josh, and Sam answering. I've been with Engaging Networks for almost 2 years now. I was also a previous client. I worked for Reading is Fundamental. At that time, they were not yet a client. I met Elise, Clint, and John. They did a demo. 2 hours later, I applied for a job. I was in a different CRM, very unhappy. And so when I saw the user dependencies, the cool little, no need to write JavaScripts to like enable some of the form field swaps, I did a lot of research, met with Clint, and then 6 months later joined the team. Okay, I have background in front-end web design. So if you guys have questions or want me to help you with CSS or want me to help with your email templates, I'm here till tomorrow. You'll find me up front or in a little booth back there, and I can help. All right, let's get started. So today we are going through the new page builder templates that we released in the last couple of months. Have you guys seen it at all? Not page builder, but the page builder templates. Okay. I'm going to sit down. Okay, so we're going to create 3 different pages. It's really quick. So you're going to go to your page components, and then you're going to go to the templates section here. So it used to be that when you select templates, you just have to drop in your HTML header and footer. The last couple of months, we released this new feature where you can select some of Engaging Networks sample templates. So when you get to the template section, you just select sample templates. And then we have our Engaging Networks multi-step template that's available to use. And the cool new thing about this is...
Wait, when I did that, I don't see any of that. Is there another step?
So go to sample template.
No sample templates.
New template. Let's go back.
No sample template.
New template.
Found it. Never mind.
Sample template. Okay. All right. Should be called Engaging Networks multi-step template. And then click on select. All right. So here you see it loads just a sample background and just like a generic logo. It used to be that you have to go and edit the HTML to change those. Now we've enabled just a few formatting options here, so you can directly change the background image from here and upload. So I'm going to drag and drop, insert a background image there. So you can see that it changed the background image. I'm going to insert a header logo. And you can see this logo is big, so I'm actually going to insert it as a bigger logo and then set the size here. Maybe 175. Okay. Colors. So currently it's black and the shade of blue. I'm going to go ahead and replace that. I want my header color to be red. So I'm pretty sure you guys already have CSS, but CSS with your styles. But if you just want to just see how easy it is to really create a donation page using these templates, feel free to play around with it. And if you have any questions, please interrupt me. Happy to answer your questions right now. Link color would be the color of your links. Fonts. So you can change fonts directly from here. And it is the family. So we don't. If you have custom fonts, then just go to the HTML part and edit the fonts. But this is basically like Arial family, Helvetica family, Georgia family. Alignment. So we could, if you enter left, that multi-step template will be on the left. If you want it to be right, just type right or center. Tracking, your Google Analytics tracking, you can just drop it in there. Again, if you want to make further HTML edits, you can just edit the HTML. So what this does is it creates your own new template. So I'm going to call this ENCC18 donation template. Don't know why I'm looking up. It's like a mirror. Okay, save. All right, so I created that template. I'm going to go to pages. I'm going to create a page. This is going to be a donation page. So I'm going to select the donation page section here. I'm going to give it a name. So for those who don't know much, Page Builder, the name is your internal name. The public title is what your supporters will see. We have 6 different types of statuses. New is the draft mode. And then here at the bottom, where it says template, then we're going to select the template that we just created, right? And I'm going to go ahead and click next. If you have any gateways, go ahead and call your gateways here. If you have additional gateways that you want to create, I'm going to show a PayPal option here. So I'm just going to add PayPal as an additional gateway. So now you have 2 gateways right here. Notification settings. Maybe Josh should get this. All right. As quickly as that, look, your page is ready. You just have to put the buttons, right? And it is on the left side.
Can I just ask a really basic question?
Sure.
So we made a template, and then that's going to be like the basic foundation of everything we want to do in the future.
Yes.
And then can you edit it in here?
Yeah.
And will it
Yeah.
update the template?
Yeah.
Or
Yes,
so if
sir.
you edit here, it's always going to update the template.
Yes.
So if you want to make something that's totally different, then you have to
Create a different template.
and that's not the photo, that's like the donation part, or is it the photo is part of the template too?
So this what you see right here.
Yeah.
I'm going to click on save here and then just preview it. This is basically your template. So when you build your pages are kind of like the forms and the donation pages and advocacy pages are in between your header and your footer. So what we created earlier was basically your header and your footer, and now we're going to build the rest of the Engage Networks page. So if you want to change this background for another let's say an advocacy page, then you can create an advocacy template. So this is if you want to create a donation page template, and this is your template.
Could you apply this back on, like, say, if you make this design and you really like it, and you go, oh, I wish all my other pages look like this?
Yes.
Oh, nice.
So you want your sign-up pages to look like this? Go for it.
You just assign,
Yeah, you just call it. Yeah.
And then if you
call it
update
template.
the template, it'll update everywhere.
It'll update everywhere. Correct. It is possible to change the background images. So maybe, hey, my page 2, I'll walk you through how to do that. I want my page 2 to be a different background. So these are just, it's CSS. So you just have to call the CSS style and then update the background.
Okay, but does that mean that, like, let's say we use this one place, if we use another place, we have to make a whole new template to change the photo? I'm sorry, did you just answer that and I didn't understand?
I did.
Okay,
so you can create a generic template. I'm just going to assume we're going to call this a general template that we're going to use for all your pages. It is possible to change the background images on either a template basis or on a page basis. So yes. If you want to do it to a specific page, I recommend using a code block. If you're going to use it for all your pages, I think you should just create a different template and then call that template. Okay. All right, so we're going to create a donation page. gonna start with a text block. I'm gonna call in some styles because we created some styles. I think we gave them some colors, right? So it pulled the red that we said for each one. So this template comes with documentation on how to set up a donation page. When you create the template and you look at it, there's documentation like step by step on how to create a donation page. So I'll share this document by email, but if you also look at the setup of the template, it says additional documentation here. This is basically what I'm doing. I'm going through each line.
Quick question.
Yes?
So each template already built-in templates. They can have like different class names for different
Sections.
templates.
Yeah. So we call the different classes on each form just for styling. If you don't call a class, I can show you.
I get that, but I was just thinking like if it's the same class name used across all the built-in templates, or like individually they have like different names based on like.
It's the same class that's used for all page types,
Okay.
correct? Except when, and I'll walk you through advocacy, there are certain sections in advocacy that's like, hey, I want to hide the message and view it, then it's a different
Okay.
class. But
Okay.
personal information is personal information. Address block is an address block. Okay, what am I missing? City region. Have you guys used any of the save library feature? Yes, so what this means is if I save this form block, I can use it again. So if you have donation pages that are shared across, you can always reuse these form blocks. So you see it changed to like a two. Okay. So yeah, I memorized this now because I do this almost regularly. But please refer to support.engagingnetworks.net on how to set up your donation page by gateway. Very important.
By what?
So it's specific to your gateway. You have Vantiv, IATS, PayPal, WorldPay. The way you're setting up your fields would be very important. So just follow, so it's support.engagingnetworks.net. I'm going to set it up like this is an IATS page. But if, for example, you're using Vantiv, Payflow, or PayPal, the requirements are different. So. And again, very important, when you're in test, use a test gateway. When you go to live, please switch your gateway to live. I don't want to get any calls, Mom, my donations are not processing, and then you just switch it to live. So it happens all the time, unfortunately, but it's usually that the gateway is not, you're not, and please make a test donation before you actually go live. Like use a real credit card. Use a real credit card for single and use a real credit card for recurring, and start early to see how your recurring donations will go, right? So if you look at our documentation, the recurring needs a Y. It's not monthly. So I'm assigning some field types, right? So for those who are familiar or not familiar, hidden means it will not show. Can you also use CSS to hide some of these fields? Okay, currently you're looking at these. We're using the radio buttons as just straight up radio buttons. I do have some styles that I can load up. And I am going to share this with, put the PowerPoint slide right now. If you guys want to take a photo of it real quick, this is like where you can get all the styles.
Hold it up just a second.
Sure. Got it, Kathy? So I'm just adding the styles as a code block. So different components, text block, image block, code block. And this will make your donation pages, donation radio buttons look like a button. So I prefer not to do that for the, like, I know it will look like buttons. I actually prefer to put it as a code block, only because the buttons can kind of, when I'm editing a form and they all look like buttons, it's easier to see them as radio. And then later on, like when you render, it's a form block. It has the buttons. So here. A quick second that JavaScript is actually an older script. So I'm on a test site, and that JavaScript on that template was not loading correctly. So I'm gonna just quickly replace that. Okay, so yeah, so the code that I gave you, it will make your recurring and donation amount show the buttons instead of radio. What else? So how do you change the color of those buttons? By default, they're red. You can just, you'll see here, it's kind of labeled, so just change the colors here. So that's part of the code block. You'll need to have, a code block is page specific. So if you want, you can only put your donation amount in one page. So just put it on one page. But just note that if you're going to use a code block, let's say you're creating a code block for a back button, then it won't show on the other pages because it's page specific. Any questions? I can go through the entire donation page. It's pretty, you guys kind of getting it. Any questions with creating a donation page so far?
One quick question. I recently started building like donation form and engagement network. Is other, for example, like donation amounts? Like,
Yes.
When you add other as like the other, is that only, so that triggers the other input field, right?
Yes.
That's
And
the only way to trigger it.
And it has to be numeric. So if someone enters $4, it would be good for you to set a validator so that it would trigger an error.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what I would do is when you edit this form on your donation amount, call a validator. That's maybe a donation amount validator.
Or you can create your custom validator.
Yeah, so it uses regex. We have a few. If it's not on your client's account, let us know.
Yeah.
But let me save and show you where to do that. That's alerts and validators here. You can create your own validator, and we have a few that's available. So we have validators for required, alpha, numeric, and there's one here that's donation. If you can write regex, then you can just create a custom one and then create your own regex code.
I have some questions.
Yes?
Okay, so you mentioned creating a form block? No.
Yes, so-
That's like the address, that's so you can say like, okay, bring all these fields and put them into here
Yeah.
from a different page.
Yes, so I'm gonna.
So can you do that with the same setup for the payment processor?
Yes. So here. So I'm gonna go to page 2. Let me add a next here. Let's walk you through the entire page.
So you have like an address form block and then a payment processor form block?
Yes. Yes. So so in this page we created just the personal information, right? Let's label that so it's not too messy. Let's call it a. Label this.
So essentially you created a template for the page and now you're creating a template for the information. You just call them.
Yeah.
That's a lot easier than the old one.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. Okay, so here we go. How many of you are familiar with form swaps? Okay, so let's do that. So what a form swap is, based on the value, you can swap values. So when someone is giving one time, maybe it's 10, 25, 50, 100, but if it's monthly, maybe it's 5, 10, 20, 25 per month, correct? So for that, we're going to go to form block. And it's this triangle and square. That's how I say it over the phone. It's like a triangle and square button. That's how you swap form fields. So what does it do? You could say, if recurring payment is equal to Y, which means it's monthly, I want you to swap my list. So I have a list of donation amounts, which is currently your default. But you can create a separate list that's for monthly. This is best used for if country equals Canada or another country. So I want to start from 5. And these trainings are recorded. I mean, these are going to be recorded, so you can go back and preview. So if recurring is equal to Y, which means it's monthly, you want your donation list to be monthly, right? And then if it's not equal to Y, then you want your donation amount to be default. Same logic would work for if country equals US, select the US states. If country equals Canada, show the Canadian provinces.
For opt-in, opt-out, too? Like, can you say if country equals anything in the EU,
Yeah.
have it be opt-in, opt-out?
Your opt-outs are fields. You could do it with a dependency instead of yeah. Does your opt-in say opt into these countries? How is your opt-in set up as?
It's just a checkbox. I don't know. It's just a checkbox. So
Yeah,
yeah.
it might work as a dependency. I'll walk you through that in a bit. So you guys, let's refresh that. Did that save? Just quickly see if it saved. Nope. That did not save. Save, refresh, monthly. Okay, so it's switching. Monthly, 5, 10, 15, 20. One time, 10, 25, 50, 100 other. Okay. All right, next. Next page should be payment information. So actually it was address block. So we created an address block earlier. So you can just go load from library and then find the address block.
Does it have to be on the second page?
No, I'm creating a multi-step donation page. It doesn't have to be in the second
Okay,
page.
so the second page that's up there could have been placed on the first page.
Yes. Yes.
Can you make a form block for anything?
Yeah. That was funny.
That's amazing.
Wow. And sometimes it becomes like copy and paste because it's so easy now. You're just like, oh, let me just copy everything. Okay, so page 1. Another trick, if you want to switch between pages without filling it out, just change that number. And it takes you to the second page. The additional codes that I shared, it already has this little CSS to put a red asterisk. So it's not by default, it's part of the styles that I shared with you guys.
What does the next button have to say in order to work?
I'm sorry?
Like on the first page, what is the next button? Like anchor languages?
Oh, it's just next. It's not on, oh, where does it go? It goes to page 2.
Well, I missed you making that part.
Oh, okay. So
Anchor
it's just right here.
Oh, okay.
So it's a submit button. So it'll go to page 2. Who here is familiar with dependencies? Or not familiar? Okay, so dependency is when you hide or show fields based on content. So I think that's what would work best for you. So I'm going to create one for payment type. If payment type is equal to PayPal, I want you to hide credit card number. Makes sense, right?
Yeah, I was doing everything with JavaScript.
You were? Painful. Could do the same thing with redirecting. So if you're in an advocacy page and it's for Senate and if city equals Washington, you can redirect them to a take action page instead of writing script for that. It does turn into JavaScript. So we're saving that. We're going to go look at page 2. Currently, if it's a Visa, you see all the fields, right? Oops. Then if it's PayPal, then it's hidden. So it's as quick as that. If country equals, then hide the opt-in.
Or can you make it, not hide it, can you make it unchecked, right, or checked? Yeah, unchecked.
You can push an N.
Can you show us again where the dependencies?
So it's under the setup here, under forms. Yeah. So the difference between field swap is it's specific to like swapping lists on a field. And then if you're hiding, showing certain fields based on a value, it's a dependency.
So do you have to build the form block first and then build the dependencies second? Like,
Yes. Ideally, you need to have the form blocks in place before you kind of think about what would you hide or show based on what's there. So the submit button can be renamed. Earlier it was next. This time I'm doing donate. Maybe you want to make this an in memoriam page. So we can drag in another form block here. Do you guys notice how the donate button is below my in memoriam field? Yeah, so it is possible to do a submit that's all alone by itself. So just drag a form block and just do the separate one. Okay. The fields, if the fields are not there, it was easy for me to find payment type, in memoriam, recurring payment. If they're not there, it means that you haven't created those fields in your account. You need to tag the correct field type, the correct field tag, or else it won't render the right transaction Like you won't have a transaction for FIM, which is in memory, or FCR, which is recurring. So again, supportal would have it. You can email us and we will tell you. It's in memoriam needs a Y for in memory gifts, and recurring payment needs a Y for recurring payments. All right, so that's basically it. We have our page 1 here, right? Page 2 here, and our page 1 here. And that's basically your donation page. Page 3 is usually your thank you, so just drag a thank you. I'll try to do a sample donation here. Make sure it's a test gateway. One time, $25. Come on, engagenetworks.net. Recurring days, mandatory. Try that again. Yes. Okay. All right. One time, 25. We're gonna do we're gonna do advocacy after this. I did not select the right expiration here, but I could show you. How my gateway gave me an error. Let's remove some of this. Three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Okay, there you go. Thank you for your gift of $50. I did not set the expiration date correctly, but usually it should be a split select. Split select. Do that correctly here. And just import the list of values here for months. And then usually for year, I just write it down. Split select would, let's look at page 3 there. Oh, that's page 2, my bad. It'll give you that split select, right?
Where do you put the thank you email that when they make their donation? Mm-hmm. Is that done on the template?
It's done on the page side, so it's here. Autoresponder, thank you email. It will be thank you for your donation, and then just copy. Yeah.
Right.
Can you make that attached to the template? So if you want to start from that with each one, or do you have to redo that?
So, no, so the template is basically what wraps your site, right?
Oh, yeah, okay.
But you could save it to the library so that thank you email can be used again and again.
Oh, okay.
There's also, it's in our support role. You can do receipts. So like for Canadian clients, receipting is pretty important. So you can create a template receipt that you can attach. So you get a PDF receipt every time.
Where would you load it to the library? I see load from library.
Yeah, right here. So just load like thank you email version Josh. Thank you, Josh. It'll just load his thank you email. Not really thank you.
How did it get into the library to begin with?
You can save anything to the library. There's always an option next to save to library. So every single component, a code block, a thank you page, an image block, a form block can be saved to your library. Okay. Any questions? I guess we can do questions later. I'm here all day today and tomorrow. I'm gonna hop onto the advocacy page. If you guys have any other questions with donations, we'll skip. Yes.
I had a question about the field swap.
Yeah.
So you gave an example of like where you could use the country, and then it would, if I understood right, it would bring up like U.S. then it would bring up state, or like Canada bring up like a list of province. But
Yeah.
wouldn't you normally like pick country at the end of you're filling something out? Like, isn't that usually how a form would be set up? Like state,
Yeah.
country. So I'm not quite picturing how that would work.
So it would. Let's go back here. How about I build an advocacy page? It has that,
Okay.
and I can kind of
So I can
walk you through visually. But what I usually do is side by side,
Okay.
so it's not as. It's like Washington, and then there's country. Yeah, I'll walk you through and create one.
All right.
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna save this. Click done. Press OK. Just gonna create another one. Okay, so let's do an email to target. And then so for here, I'm gonna use the let's use USA Congress Senate. So for the US database, the address lookup should always be checked. It's checked on your accounts. It should be pre-checked here. This is where we're able to validate the postal code database so that it could go to the target.
So template is where we would add.
The new template, yes. So I created the page first, and it's using the old reading is fundamental template, right? So we want to use a different template. So we're going to go out of the pages, go back to pages, components, and templates. And here I'm going to create a new template, and I'm going to say, I actually want to use the wide template. Sorry about this image. This is in my test account. But it will create a wider template that you could use for petitions. This is not giving me an option. I'm going to log on to a client's account. Just a quick second, because it's not giving me an option to. I got out, sorry, because I need to go to the Engaging Networks account. Engaging Networks. Okay. All right. Okay. Pages, components, templates, new template, sample templates, and it's the wide one. Okay. So again, we're going to load the background image. Maybe I use this. Change my logo. Keep the colors, but you guys understand what that all is. And name my template Advocacy. Okay, so I have a template here. I'm gonna go ahead and create my email target campaign. You can see here, it's already grayed out, but it'll validate. And then I can select my ENCC template here, that's for advocacy. You can also auto expire your advocacy campaigns. If you know it's like a 3-month campaign, expire it and select a close page for it.
Could you show that whole page again?
Sure. To go back to that page, it is this gear icon. You can automatically expire your campaigns. So after 3 months, well, I want this to end on Saturday. And then you can select a closed page or a redirect to you. We'll redirect you to the Engagement Network's website. How's that?
So where's the template go?
Here is template. So this template is a little wider. It's the wide template that's usually I suggest to use for events. You can also use it for advocacy. It's got like an 800 pixel width. It does get smaller for mobile, so it's gonna respond. Okay. Let's just say you already have all your text there. Put a form block. First, last, address 2, city, state, region, country. That's the whole thing. Email address, forgot that. By default, they're mandatory. So make sure that the ones that you don't want, don't need them to fill out, you uncheck them. So this page is a little wider, you know? Here, this is how I would set it up. It's kind of close to each other, and I get that you'd have to select the state, but I just assume if you're from, you know, that you'd start to sort of, you'll see that if I change the country, the state will change. I won't start with the line. I'll probably start with that. So let's do a sample of that swap field here. If country is equal to US, swap list, region, default, save. If country is equal to Canada. Oh, wrong. Oh. That's another one. If you have a list of all the of all the other countries, then you can just import, you can paste them, but we only have US and Canada here. All right, so let's save that. Let's preview this. You see it. I just assume it's sort of close, that the fields are close, that they would do it.
Yeah. Just a quick question on that. So you gave 2 examples of field swap. Do you have anywhere like a list of suggested uses for that, or like examples, or is it just kind of?
It's, I mean, this documentation will tell you when to use the field swaps or not. So.
Okay.
That's just a straight walkthrough, but we don't.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm telling you that I recommend it for country and for field swap for like recurrent payment options.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so for an advocacy page, you need target block. So target block can come here, right? And this is your subject line to your target. We have cool tool. We have an option to hide the message. It is right here. It is the view message text block. So it'd be good to have copy clip to like record all your control C's. That's what I use to store like all my copy blocks. Okay, so send letter. Oh wow, not loading.
So you put an empty form text box, and you copied and pasted code from your code snippets.
Yes, I did. So this is a full version that I was working on today. So here I had a text block that had just this snippet. Above that is a view message class, and I have the documentation to walk you through, just so that it does the hide and show of your field. Questions?
I've been really wanting that, but that was so fast, I'm not sure.
Okay, yes, again, so your form block, pretty straightforward. First name, last name, address, and then your address. And then you bring in a text block. You don't have to. I've seen a lot of clients just have just the letter. So let's just say let's remove that component and let's save this page. So you'll see it just shows the letter. You don't have to hide or show it. It's just a cute little nifty thing. Yeah. Right. And again, set your targets, right? So for this, it's Josh. It's a custom target. But then you can do your CCs if you want to. Any questions? Maybe this one, you want this to be, let me make it not centered. No.
I have a quick question. For example, the other template you had, where you had a flow for like whether you want the form section to be on left or right.
Yeah.
But this one doesn't have it.
Yeah.
Is there any way we can do the same thing for the template that we create and have some tokens to create whatever the side features you have?
Yeah, just, it's like, I just call, like, if you want more customization, because I kind of call the blueprint, I create those blueprints. Yeah. It's really just, it's just the CSS that you can update to move them to the center. You can just manipulate how the form
feels. Like the code section, just have the, somehow my template can have the same like blocks of edited.
Oh, your template? Yeah. No, because the blueprinting happens on our platform.
Okay.
If you want to donate your template to us, and we can create a blueprint template for it, and then we can it will be accessible across the board.
Okay.
Yeah, but you can. So these templates were donated to us by Foresight. So if you, as an agency, want to give us a template, and we can promote you guys, happy to do that as well. Any questions? We can sidebar chat if you have personal requests, personal questions, and how to quickly create your templates. Ben just gave me a 2-minute warning. I hope this was helpful. Please go back, try to create your own template. It's really easy. It's less than an hour. You can create 2 types of templates. I suggest using the wide template for events, just because it's pretty wide and there's like the whole checkout. If you don't have events, come talk to Eric, who's here, to add the events platform to your platform.
I have a quick question. I haven't used Engaging Networks yet. I'm just learning about it. Does it track the donation? Like, say if someone donates through a page, does it track that data by the page, or does it have a code that you can also attach, or does it have like a tag? Or
Yeah, so
that might be
3 things, right? So it will track your donation by the page, by its campaign ID.
Okay.
But if you're coming from Facebook and you have a tracking ID tag onto that page, which is right here, and I highly recommend doing the Academy because it has all the courses.
Oh yeah, oh awesome.
But so on this page, for example, you can manage tracking. And I'm going to do one here for Facebook. And generate a tracking URL and save. So now this page has a tracking URL that I can use for Facebook. And it's, if I go here, oh, this page is not, it's not a live page. But if I test that page, not an end, it's an end, my bad. Okay, so if I test that page and someone actually goes to this event and makes a donation, you'll know that that tracking ID is from Facebook. So you could do one for like your homepage button. You could do one that's for Facebook, for Twitter, something that you care to, or a third party. Any other questions on how to create a
Could you show us
template?
again where we're using 2 separate snippet documents?
I have one snippet document. It is
So that's
It
the
is
one
this.
you have a bit.ly for?
yeah.
Oh, this is a different one.
This is a different one. It is when you create your template. So I'm going to go back to the Engage Network site. components, templates, new template, sample templates. Here, it's this one.
Got it, thank you.
It's the same for this. We also now released a new e-commerce template. So for those who are looking into e-commerce, there's already a ready-made template for you as well. Okay, that's the end of my presentation. My email address. Oh, that's play from start. It's funny. Is monoengagementworks.community.